You're on 1FM Live and Local at 8:08, and the song We Gotta Get Out of This Place may not be a bad segue into my next guest. His name is Luke Blaze, and he is a mesmerising musician and illusionist, and he's coming to Shepparton on Saturday to kick off his regional tour. Good morning, Luke.
Good morning. How you doing, Terry?
I'm very well, thank you. So you're kicking off your first tour. Sounds fantastic. Now, what really captured my imagination was hearing about this amazing underwater escape you're going to do. Yeah. And when I read about that, of course, the first thing I thought about was Houdini.
Yeah, so Houdini was quite an icon in Australia in the early 1900s. He actually did an underwater escape in Melbourne in the Yarra River, and so I took quite an inspiration from him. And then decided the underwater escape really came about when I put the question back to my audience members and asked them what they wanted to see at my upcoming shows. And the survey I did in 2020 came back about a 95% response that people wanted to see an underwater escape. So I just took that and bringing it to the live stage now, and really excited to kick it off on Saturday night in Shepparton.
Gee, why do you think people want to see an underwater escape? That's a pretty challenging thing to ask you to do. I mean, I guess it's just that kind of dicing with death that people find so alluring.
Yeah, I think people do enjoy the scare factor of it. I don't think anyone wants to see myself, get hurt or drown, but they enjoy the entertainment of the challenge of trying to escape.
I have to ask, how much of that sort of challenge of escaping is real, and how much, do you go into it thinking, I better really be careful this time?
Yeah, absolutely. No, the underwater escape is 100% real. I say just before I do it that the 90-minute show is full of magic and illusion. However, the escape, you can't fake that. It's to the point where last year I performed the underwater escape at my show in Preston in Melbourne. I blacked out inside of the water tank in the last show, on the Saturday night show, and my crew had to pull me out. So Shepparton is actually the first live audience to see the underwater escape since it going wrong.
Well, I certainly hope it goes very well. How long do you expect to have to hold your breath for?
We're aiming for about a minute and a half. So
that's a long time.
It is a very long time, yeah. So, but once you're underwater, I try and compose myself, and I go through some breath work before I get in, so that once I'm under, I'm composed, I'm calm, my heart rate's down, and then I can go through the sequence of picking all the locks. So I have thumb cuffs, handcuffs, leg irons, and a padlock on top of the lid. So
is that all?
Through about 4 restraints.
Not much at all. Just an easy walk in the park for sure. So tell me a bit more about the show. You've got some contemporary dance and also a bit of comedy.
Correct, yeah. So I've tried to incorporate as much comedy throughout the show as possible. I think, coming out of COVID, this show was new out of COVID, so I wanted to try and put smiles on people's faces and create a laugh throughout the show. And the dance comes through to more of the theatrical side. I have 2 dancers, Estelle and Kim, and they both do dance numbers throughout the illusions and throughout the show as well. So it's a show that's got it all. The lighting is fantastic, the soundtrack is amazing, and the costumes are great. So really just looking forward to putting it on and showing Shepparton what I've got.
And Estelle has a local connection.
Correct, yeah. Estelle was born and bred in Shepparton, so she's been on the team now for just over a year. And when we finished the show last year, I put the question out to my team as where they wanted to go, and Estelle was very keen to come back to Shepparton and show everyone how much she had progressed. And so we decided, we'll take up Shepparton, and now her family and friends get to see her perform as well, which brings a lot of joy to my heart as well.
Fantastic.
That opportunity.
So you're actually kicking off your tour in Shepparton, and then you've got about 4 or 5 other venues. So that's great. As you say, we'll be the first ones to see it. Now, I think most kids do flirt with magic at some point. Most of us got those sort of, very budget sort of magic kits when we were young. Is that sort of where it started with you and then you just kept on going?
Basically, yeah. So when I was 8 years old, my older brother had a book, Pranks, Jokes and Magic Tricks, in his bedroom. And I stumbled across it one day and practiced one of the card tricks in the book. And then I showed it to my grandparents, and the reaction I got from them was incredible. I basically took it from there and just wanted to keep putting smiles on people's faces. And I'm very excited about Shepparton as well, because those grandparents that I showed my first ever card trick to are coming to the Shepparton show.
Oh, fantastic.
So I'm excited to perform and show them the show, because they haven't seen it yet either.
Are they coming up from Melbourne?
They are, yes.
Oh, good on them. I hope they enjoy it. Now, you had a bit of a false start to your career, though, when you were trying to get your show on the road at the age of 18. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so about 3 days before my 18th birthday, I was involved in a dog attack. So the family dog mauled my arm, and so I was hospitalised for 3 nights and lost movement in my right arm for about 6 months. So I had to go through some extensive training to get movement back in my arm. And then once I got movement back in my arm, then COVID hit, so I couldn't take the show out then. And so the show's been written since 2020, but it's taken a few years to get out onto the road due to the challenges I've faced. But nonetheless, I'm very excited to perform this Saturday night at Riverlinks West
Side, yep. So you've also got some levitations in the show and some treacherous fire eating, I believe. In your media release, it says that you're the youngest current underwater escape artist. I mean, are there a lot of underwater escape artists in Australia?
No, there's very, very few.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think both the underwater escape and the fire eating is what I believe sets me apart. The underwater escape, obviously, there's not very many. And the fire eating, I think I just like to double in the elements of, earth, fire, wind, water. So the fire eating will be the first time I perform on the stage in front of an audience on Saturday night, and I'm very excited. I think that the routine that I've created is very elegant and beautiful, and I'm very grateful for my fire eating teacher as well. She's amazing.
Well, just as we said, we want to see you have a very successful escape from the underwater. I don't even know what you call it. It's a tank?
Yeah, it's an 800-litre water tank.
Okay, we want to see you. A bit of excitement. We definitely want to see you escape before you run out of breath, but we also don't want to see you burning your mouth either, okay?
It can get difficult with a moustache like mine. It gets singed a little bit, but nonetheless, it's definitely worth it when you get to see the audience applaud.
I didn't even think about the moustache. So you've got, I don't know what you call your kind of moustache, but it's very kind of evocative of, I guess, sort of this showman, isn't it?
Yeah, it's called a handlebar moustache.
That was what was coming to my head, but I thought when you think of handlebar, like they're really massive ones, and yours is fairly contained.
Yes, I tried to put it up so it doesn't catch on fire too much.
Right, that is a very good idea. So you mentioned earlier you just want to make people smile, but I guess seeing a show like yours is a bit of escapism. Well, we've been speaking about you escaping, but the audience can also escape a little while they watch the show.
Yeah, absolutely. So I explain in the show towards the end, there's a piece that I talk about as to why I think magic is what it is. For most people, magic is the tricks. But for myself, magic is being able to allow people to escape to an alternate universe where problems no longer exist. Normally, when you watch a magic show or any entertainment whatsoever, you don't really think about the problems you're facing on the outside world. You're kind of just captivated for the 60 or 90-minute show, however long it is. And so to me, that's really magic. If I can allow people to just sit down in the theatre and relax and take their mind off anything that's stressing them out, then to me, I've done my job and I've created the magic that it is, what I turned it out to be.
Well, I'm sure you'll do that and much more. Now, I'm speaking to magician and illusionist Luke Blaze. He has his show Reborn. It's actually the first show of his Victorian tour, so we'll be the first to see some of these amazing tricks, including this underwater escape trick. It's happening on Saturday at Riverlinks West Side. Tickets are $49 for adults, less for concessions and children. But if you hang around, dear listener, you'll have a chance to win a double pass, so that's worth $98 shortly when I finish talking to Luke. But if you want to book a ticket, 58329511. So that's Saturday at 7:30pm, and you can also go onto the Riverlinks Venues website. Well, all the best with the tour, Luke. Hope it goes really well. It's been a pleasure to talk to you this morning.
Thanks for having me on, Terry.